Hi, this is the FilmCrop channel. Today I'm going to tell you about a 1992 drama called Alive. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care.
They slit our throats while we slept!
1972. A team of funny football players is flying to South America. They had fun and laughed as they flew through the snowy landscapes. Nothing foreshadowed trouble. They'll be landing soon. There's a cyclone ahead and everyone needs to buckle up. The plane is rocking from side to side. But instead of being wary, the guys are just joking. It is only when the plane gets out of control that the rugby players begin to understand the seriousness of the situation. The plane breaks down on the ridge of the mountain, and half of it breaks off. People fly out into the resulting hole right along with the seats. And now the plane finally lands. There are many injured people in the cabin, some even died. Once carefree young men have to mature and take responsibility into their own hands. Now only they and no one else can help everyone around. One of the pilots survived. The guys are trying to contact at least someone on the radio, but nothing works. The pilot asks for a gun to shoot himself, but the boys refuse to help him with this. It was decided to remove the covers from the chairs in order to somehow insulate themselves. It's getting dark and you need to go to bed. They are alone in the middle of the mountains. A storm is blowing into the hole, and if they go to bed now, they will die of hypothermia. The already tense situation is heating up even more. People are shouting at each other from a simple misunderstanding of what to do. The hole was covered with the remaining things. Morning comes. More dead people appear. But there is no place for mourning. We need to take the corpses out of the plane. One of the passengers, who has nothing to do with rugby, explained that without the back of the plane, the radios will not be able to work. He is very strange and seems to have been out of his mind before the disaster. A woman who moaned all night from fear and pain died. The guys are trying to weigh everything they have from provisions. Some wine, chocolate and crackers. This is very little for 27 people. But this does not frighten them. They are convinced that they will be picked up in the afternoon. A search plane flies by. But it is not visible, which means that they themselves are not visible from the sky. What will happen to them? But now it's getting dark. We need to try to sleep. This night, no one is screaming and hysterical anymore. Fear and despair crept deep into them, displacing all thoughts and words. Great animal fear. The next day, one of the guys, Nando, wakes up. He asks Roberto about what happened. Nando's mother died. But this is not the time for sadness, because his sister is alive and she needs him. Susanna is lying just like him, barely conscious. Another day passes. The guys pour all the same wine on the lids, so as not to deplete the stocks. In the morning, a search plane flies again. The joyful survivors run out and wave to him. There is no limit to joy. Finally, they are saved. Now it makes no sense to save stocks. They drink wine straight from the bottle and eat chunks of chocolate. Having survived this night, they are waiting for a rescue group. But there is no one, and the reserves are completely depleted. It's starting to dawn on them that search plane didn't notice them. During the next inspection of the plane, they find a radio. White noise is heard. It means it is working. Nando's sister is getting worse. Her brother was determined when she died, he would go for help through the mountains, no matter how difficult it was. Antonio is furious. He heard on the radio that they were not noticed from the sky. It was decided to go to the mountains the next day. Falling off their feet, they go without knowing where. One of them falls through the snow. It turns out that it was part of a snowy mountain, and he almost dies, but one of the rugby players pulls him out. The idea was not crowned with success. They had to go back. The seriousness of the situation is beginning to reach the guys. Now there is no empty chatter. They read prayers at night. Nando's sister died. It's the 9th day. Antonio tells Nando about what he heard on the radio. Antonio is afraid to tell the others because it will kill hope. But what good is such hope? Nando decides to inform everyone about this and urges them to gather strength for a hike to the west, to Chile. But no one has the strength, because their reserves have long been depleted. The answer is already in the air and Nando only hints at it to everyone. You need to eat the dead. But many are unable to do this. Someone from abomination, someone from religious views. They are all Catholics. This night passes without sleep for almost everyone. They need to decide on this difficult step. In the morning, Roberto does it. And everyone follows him. Everyone except Nando. He is still recovering from the loss of his sister. 3 of them go for help. But Nando is not allowed with them. He has not eaten meat. The next day, Roberto decides that the 3 guys who went are most likely dead. It was very cold at night. And Nando decides to eat meat. But the people who went found the corpses of the others and went down the mountain, sitting on improvised sleigh chairs. After they returned, it became clear that everything is possible, and they have a chance of survival. People who have not dared to eat human meat before are finally deciding. At night, something terrible happens. An avalanche descends from the mountain and completely overwhelms the plain with snow. Antonio is dying. The guys are digging up the rest. Liliana, who decided the day before to have another child after being rescued, is also dying. In total, 8 people died overnight. There is a severe blizzard outside, they can't get out, everything is covered with snow. It's Raphael's birthday. It's not the right time for such a holiday. But the guys improvise again and give him a cake, a piece of snow with a cigarette. Raphael takes a cigarette and wishes only one thing, that all this is over as soon as possible. Soon, Carlitos' birthday comes too. He wants the same thing as Raphael. Covered with snow, they are still sitting on the plain and praying. Hope does not fade in their hearts. And so, the blizzard ends. Everyone wakes up and sees the sun. But Carlitos has been awake for a long time. He says he sees God everywhere on this day. And this means that they will soon succeed. Alberto dies at night. He was 21 years old. The 50th day is coming. It's starting to get warmer. After the death of his wife, Javier completely despaired. He never ate meat. Nando brings back hope in him by reminding him of the surviving children. And gives Eduardo hope by giving him a red shoe. He has one, Eduardo has one. When they are saved, they will connect them. Together with other rugby players, they find the remaining body of the plane with things and food. Now they need to go back together with the batteries and send an SOS signal. But Nando seems to need to get to Chile. And they will have to do it. No one except Nando is sure that they will survive. Later in the evening, a blizzard begins. They have to go back to the others. Federico is dead. Day 61. It has already warmed up significantly. Some are starting to go crazy. Raphael is dead. Time to go again. Nando persuades Robert, and they are going camping. Carlitos tells them that he had a good dream, which means that everything will go well. The hike begins. Skirting the mountains, the 3 pass the most difficult path. Climbing the mountain, one of them almost falls. There is still a big and difficult road ahead. On another mountain, Roberto slips and hangs on the edge of a cliff. It is almost impossible to save him. But Nando rushes to help and pulls him out, saving him from death. Where should they go? Roberto sees something similar to the road and wants to go back. Nando, on the other hand, thinks it's worth climbing the mountain and looking at their path. Climbing, he repeats a mantra to himself that everything will be fine, and he will see green fields. Hope does not die in his chest. Roberto goes up to him and sees mountains where there is no snow. This means that they are on the right track. Roberto falls, he has no strength. Nando gives him back his spirit and self-confidence. He is proud that he is a man who survived in the mountains without food and water. Everything around them is God. And if you really die, then only on the way. Skirting the waterfalls, they reach the green glade. And there, Chile is just around the corner. One morning, a helicopter arrives to the wreckage of the plane with the survivors. Finally, they are saved. Faith, will and spirit save them. They're coming home. What happened is an invaluable experience that brought them together forever. The film is dedicated to 29 dead people and only 16 survivors. Thanks for watching. I recommend watching another video with an exciting plot, also based on a real story. Link in the pinned comment. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.